There you go. It's all taken care of. 2018 Honda Accord rear brake job. I've already drilled out this screw here so the rotor will come off when it's time. We've got this metal clip we're going to pop off, a pair of needle nose. You got two 7mm hex head right here, and then you've got two 17mm caliper bracket bolts here, and then one below it. All you got to do is take your pliers, give it a pull, just pop right out. Now we're going to take these two bolts out, pull the caliper off, show you how we wind back that electric e-brake. All right, once we've got that spring off here, we're going to go ahead and take these two bolts out. It's going to be a 7mm hex head. It's got this little plastic dust cover. Just pop that off. They shouldn't be too tight. We'll just get in there, give it a turn. Take this one off. We'll take the bottom one off. Get the caliper out of the way. Take the bolts for the caliper bracket off. All right, we got the two 7mm bolts for the calipers loosened up. Now what I like to do is take a screwdriver and just push them through there just to get them out of the way, because we're actually going to have to pry on this thing a little bit. Make sure your e-brake is off. Make sure the electric e-brake is off, so this will release. Now we're just going to have to pry this. Just kind of work it with a screwdriver, whatever you got. Break it loose, get it out of the way. Brake pads, they just fall right out. Now we're going to show you how to get this caliper piston turned back in so we can reassemble with the new brake pads. Alright, so we got this caliper removed. What you can see is inside here you've got two round spots. What we're going to do is we're going to take these needle nose, we're going to stick them in there, and we're going to turn it clockwise, crank that piston back down. Then we'll take a C-clamp and smash it down the rest of the way, and we'll be able to put the new brake pads in. Once we're going to change out this caliper rotor as well. Alright, once you crank down that piston with the pliers, turn it clockwise all the way till it stops, then you can put on the C-clamp to smash the piston down the rest of the way. I've already done it. I needed two hands, but that's what it's going to look like right there. Alright, we got these two bolts for the caliper bracket loosened up, 17mm. Take a ratchet and a hammer, kind of knock them loose, and then you should be able to take them off by hand. There's the top one, the bottom one, and it just slides right off. We'll set that off to the side. These rotors can be kind of tough to get off. A lot of corrosion can build up around here. Just give it a few whacks with a hammer. It should break it loose. I'm replacing these anyway, so it's not going to matter. Doesn't matter if I damage it or not. Just get them broke loose. There we go. Pull it off. Trying to put the new one on. Alright, we slapped on the new rotor. Just make sure when you take them out of the box, give them a good spray down with some brake cleaner and wipe them off. They usually come oil on them to keep them from rusting. But yeah, now we're going to put back on, throw the caliper bracket back on, throw the caliper back on, toss the brake pads in there, we'll be good to go. Alright, now that we got the caliper bracket back on with the two 17mm bolts in the back, all you got to do is get your brake pads. They're going to have, two of them are going to have the spring with the squealer on it right here, and two of them are not. The squealer's going to be facing down on the inside brake pad, and that'll be the one also that has the spring on top. You just simply put them in, and they kind of just hold right in place right there until you put the caliper on. The caliper will be the one to keep them in place. You take the other one, doesn't have the spring or the squealer, set this one right there. Now we're ready to throw the caliper back on top of it and bolt everything down. Alright, once we get the two 7mm hex heads bolts here tighten down that hold the caliper onto the bracket. All we got to do is pop this spring back in, which I've already done. You just take a pair of needle nose, start on one side, push that in there, bend this down, pop it in there. Now we're all set to go. Next thing to do is put the tire on. And guys, make sure you pump up the brakes real good before you take off. If not, this thing's not going to stop when you first start moving. I did a brake job on all 4 wheels, 2 front, 2 rear. So there's going to be a lot of slack in here. So make sure you pump those up real good before you take off.